Hello, welcome back to, if you're listening on my YouTube channel, if you're listening on the podcast, welcome back. I'm super pumped to dive into this conversation, especially after yesterday, the video that I posted, which I don't know when I'll be posting this, but this will be the next video. I talked all about like money mindset and shifting your energy to match the frequency of your dream life and all of your desires. And we really dove deep in money. And today, I've been feeling it on my heart to talk about something that is kind of along the lines of what we talked about in that episode. So, I want to talk about how you playing small with yourself is actually selfish. And we're going to dive into that. But first of all, if you don't know who I am, if you haven't watched any of my YouTube videos or my podcast episodes, I just want to say that my name is Savannah and I'm the founder of Love Your Body Now, which is a brand that has a mission to remind women of their inherent worth and help them to further deepen their relationship with themselves so that they can unlock their highest potential and the 10x version of themselves and really step into that. We have a clothing brand that represents this mission. So all of our designs are like walking billboards of what we stand for. We also do in person events, workshops, retreats, and deep mentorship, which the mentorship and programs are virtual. So if you're listening from somewhere that is not local to the area, just know that there are ways that you can be plugged into the community and into this work. I really wanted to go into this conversation and this topic because although a lot of the women that I work with are right now really focused on healing, a lot of part of why people go on a healing journey with themselves is because they are craving more for their life and they want more and they are dreaming big and they just have no idea how to unlock it without having to hustle and try really hard and make tons of sacrifices. And I'm here to tell you and give you permission that you don't have to work harder, you don't have to hustle, you don't have to kill yourself to get the life that you crave. And that kind of goes into play with the last video that I did talking about how you just like by shifting your energy is going to allow you to attract and receive more of your desires. But I want to talk about the whole like the conversation around us really owning our desires to the max. And I'm talking about the desires that feel really uncomfortable, they feel really silly and impossible to like even admitting it out loud makes you feel like a bozo. And um I want to talk about that because I moved back from I was living in two big cities before I finally moved back to my hometown. So I was living in San Antonio, and before that I was living in San Diego, and you're around a lot of people that are wealthy, that are living their dream life. Their business is where they want it to be. You're surrounded by a lot of that. And me having the realization of wanting to move back home, which a lot of had to do with my values just really started to shift. I wanted to be around family again, but a lot of it, I was being pulled back home because I felt like God was asking me to bring the things that I've learned and what I've gone through to bring it back home to the community where I grew up in. And I'm a believer that if I have a desire, if I have a craving on my heart, or not a craving, if I have like a dream or an idea on my heart, I believe it's because there are people who crave what I can give. And I'm not saying that people will know exactly what I can give or they can like identify, yeah, that's the thing I was looking for. It's not always like that, but it's like their soul or their spirit is craving it, and knowing that that's what they need in their season of life or whatever, like to make them feel fulfilled. And I am just like in tune with that if I have desires, if I get ideas, if opportunities come up, I believe that that is something bigger going into play. Like there's so many moving parts to this world, and I just really lean into that whole idea. And I want to just share, like, okay, so me, since I've moved back, I have hosted 2 in-person things. Like, I had an in-person workshop, and then I had a bigger event in March, and now I'm planning my next in-person workshop. But here's the thing, like, if I hadn't really owned the ideas, the desires that I was getting to do these types of things, if I would have allowed fear to prevent me from doing that, there were so many women impacted by the workshop and by the event that I put on. Like, I'm not talking just like surface level transformations. I'm talking about like breakthroughs that women experienced. And I got so much positive feedback from the women who were in those rooms and now are in my mentorship. And we've only had one call in our mentorship so far, and women are just like, they're on fire. They're lit up by the work that we're doing. And imagine if I would have been like too scared to do that. Like, come on. And that is what I'm really wanting you to understand is you have so much power within you, and that is part of like the work that we do, and the work that I help women with is I want them to step into that. I want women to unlock their highest potential, their best self. I want them to become her and step into her. And part of that has to do with doing the inner work and doing the healing and understanding what's going on and all of that. So that's part of my soul's mission. But I want to talk about this because believe that every single person has a purpose here on earth, and their soul knows it, but we forget it when we come here. Like, right? Our mind doesn't know what it's meant to be doing. And sometimes it can fall into this trap of the way society has trained us to live our life. And I know that it can feel really challenging to go against the grain of what society tells us, what society says success looks like. It can be a big challenge to want something different and to feel pulled in a different direction that maybe isn't like the status quo. But if you don't allow yourself to go on that journey to reconnect back to who you are and truly step into her, I need you to know that it is incredibly selfish. And I say that with love. I say that with so much love, but you being scared to face your fears, you being scared to face the traumas within you, it is selfish. And I hope you know that I'm saying this with so much compassion, but on the other side of healing is the version of you who really impacts this world. There is strength within you, there is power within you, and you can't unlock it until you've faced your fears, until you've faced the traumas and the scariest parts within yourself. You can't fully unlock her until you've done that work. And that is why, like, a lot of us will go hide in the corner and we think that, oh, this only impacts myself. Like, or like if you have kids and you want them to live to their fullest potential, but then you're not doing it. It's like kids don't learn by what you say, they learn by who you are. And if you aren't owning who you are and truly like owning everything that makes you you and lights you up, that's what your kid learns and learns how to embody. And that's why it's so selfish. It really is. And part of like my journey, and I don't even have kids yet, but part of my journey stemmed from, I want to change the trajectory of my generational lineage. Like literally that is what a lot of, in the beginning, my motivation came from, was I felt so messed up in the mind of like my negativity, my negative thoughts, how I felt about myself. And it was a decision I made that I was like, I cannot pass this on. Like, I refuse to pass this on to my future daughter. And it became like my life's mission to really go on that journey with myself and figure out, how do I how do I fix this? How do I, and now I call it like reprogram yourself and really come home back to you and be aligned with your soul again. But that is doing the inner work, doing your healing, and stepping into your purpose is one of the most selfless things that you can do for this entire planet, not just your kids and your family, because we know that you can't pour from an empty cup, right? The more overflow that you have, the more impact that you make. It's not like, if like, I used to work with women in the health and fitness space, and I still really struggled with a lot of like mindset blocks and limiting beliefs, but I was still giving a lot. And it honestly, like, I loved it, but at the same time it was kind of depleting for me, because it took so much out of me mentally, because I didn't have the capacity to give as much as I wanted to give the women and pour into the women, if that makes sense. And I've done a lot of the inner work now, where I just like, I am exuding with love. Like, I just have so much love to give and so much energy to pour into people, because I pour so much into myself, and I've really cleaned up a lot of the negative energy that I was holding on to. I talk about how we have to release different emotions and traumas that are stuck in the body. We have to face those things, because they are trapped within us, and they will continue to cling on to our energy and our aura until we've actually dealt with them, felt them, released them, and worked to overcome them and like reprogram them. So that's what I mean, is like, you can't give all of yourself to the capacity that you were designed to be able to do until you've worked through those shadows and all of that. But here's where I want to take it. I I think that I remember I had like a workshop not that long ago, and I kind of like talked a little bit about money, and I remember like the energy kind of like changing and shifting when um we were talking about our goals with money. And I just am like, why do women, I mean, a lot of like men too, but like, why do women get so uncomfortable when it comes to like saying that they want a lot of money and they want a lot of things? And I know that there's a lot of narratives around this, like negative beliefs around wanting more money, people thinking that you're greedy for wanting more money, people thinking that you're not grateful for what you have because you want more money. Like, I think there's just a lot of like, what the f kind of belief is that? Like, that's so disempowering. And when you think about it, like, think about all of the people who have a lot of money. Maybe they are bad people, maybe they are greedy, but it's like, why wouldn't we want like people who are good and actually can change the world? Why wouldn't we want them to have more money so that they can use those resources to actually serve the world better than the greedy people? Because money is not the root of all evil. Like, I know that a lot of people believe that, but this is why I think a lot of people have this like weird belief around money. It amplifies your heart. Having more money only amplifies your heart. So if you are a liar, or if you are a thief, or whatever negative characteristic you carry, if you haven't done, if that's who you are, a poor person can be all of these things just as much as a rich person can be. And obviously, if that person who has these negative characteristics within themselves gets more money, it's going to be amplified. So it's going to be very obvious what kind of person they are, versus someone who does good with their money, and maybe they don't have a lot of money, but they do a lot of good with what they can. When they get a lot more money, they do more good with that money. So it's not about like, oh, money's the evil thing. No, it's the person. It's the same thing where I've always heard the scenario of like, with like guns, where it's like you give the like evil people who have guns, like they're the ones that are going to do evil things with it. And the same goes for money. So it's like we need to like let go of that belief first of all. And here's the thing that I have really decided and owned in my purpose and what I feel is part of my mission is, I was honestly really kind of nervous when I first moved back to my small town, because I want a lot. Like I am like a big dreamer. I have a lot of desires on my heart that I plan to accomplish in my lifetime, that I know a lot of this small town hasn't seen. And in the beginning, I was a little afraid. Like I had to water myself down, or I had to like kind of hide those parts of myself. But then I would think about it and I'm like, okay, so what happens when I actually am at this level that I am working to get at? Like what happens? Because obviously I will have more, I will um be more successful in the probably in the eyes of whoever, that's going to attract a lot more attention. So I was thinking about it, and honestly, all I did was decide, like, I made this shift in my perspective of it as like, I am going to be the example for a lot of people around me, and I am okay with that. I will be the one that like leads the way to show people that this, like, it is okay to dream bigger than maybe we've ever seen before in our tiny little community, or maybe that we've ever thought was possible. Like I am here to show people what is possible for themselves. I just made the decision, like, I'm going to own that, okay? Like if you see me driving around in a luxury car one day, that was literally my thought, is like, okay, well, this is like my dream car and I haven't seen any in this town. I actually once I saw my dream car, someone driving it in the town that I live in, and I was kind of like, what are people gonna think? Oh my gosh, like they're gonna think I'm so terrible. And it's like, honestly, I don't care. Like if people, that's just a projection of them and their beliefs. So if I, and like when that happens and I am at a whole new level of myself, I hope that it inspires the people who need it to, they need to inspire them. Because again, when I have a desire on my heart, I believe it's because other people are craving it. They just might not even know it. But sometimes we have to step into that bigger calling, that bigger purpose, so that we can impact in the way that God needs us to, or like other people need to see the proof first from someone else before they even know that that's possible for them. And I've had people in my life like that before too, where it's like, I they have so much success, so much money, so much, like, just like abundance around their entire life, and you kind of like look at them and they're doing things a certain way and you're like, dang, I didn't even know that was like, I never even considered that, because I was so wrapped up in my current way of living and beliefs that like I didn't even think that that was, it never crossed my mind to even want something like that. And sometimes just seeing someone else live their most authentic, abundant life will activate something in you. And that's what I really love doing, and like how I love living my life is I love activating that in other people. I want more and more people to awaken. I want their soul to awaken, because I know that it's already trying to. And sometimes it takes like seeing someone else or interacting with someone else, or just like getting a new perspective from someone who is living in their purpose to awaken within them. And I have fully surrendered to that is like what I will be. I will stand out, and that is okay. For a long time I wasn't okay with that because I carried a lot of like shame and just a lot from my past that I was really scared to be that person, be that, you know, um role model for people, because I'm like, well, what about, the 10-year old, not 10-year-old, but the past version of me from 10 years ago. Like, that's how people know me, that, I haven't interacted with for that long, and they're going to think this and they're going to think that. And again, like, me going down that rabbit hole is selfish, because if I am going to allow my fears to prevent me from doing my soul's work and my purpose here, you are not going to impact the people that God is asking you to impact and awaken and show them what is possible for them. So, yeah, I need you to dream freaking big. And one of the things that I'm going to say, it feels really scary for me to say. It's one of those dreams that feels like, who am I to even say that this is my goal? But I'm going to do it because it is scary, it is uncomfortable, but I think it's going to not only activate something within me, but I want it to activate something within you that this is how big I dream. This is how big my life is going to be, and I just am not going to settle for me like a mediocre life. I'm just not. And so one of the things that I decided, well, that I talk about money. I've been trying to talk more about it, and like admitting like, okay, like I want a lot of money. I'm always very cautious of who I say that. I just got cut off by an alarm, which I will actually tell you why that alarm was set here in a minute. But um, where was I in my thought process? So I'm very cautious with who I like say my big dreams to, which I think that you also should be cautious, because depending on where you're at in your journey and the level of healing and inner work that you've done, you can be in a very vulnerable place. And if you share your big goals and dreams and aspirations to people who aren't doing the inner work and aren't doing inner healing, they're not going to be able to hold that space for you. They're going to project their limiting beliefs on you. So be very intentional about who you speak your big goals for and who you share your dreams with, because depending on the person, they're only going to be able to see you through their lens of their own limiting beliefs. So I just need you to know that. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I want to awaken something within you. Like, you're not going to say something to me that's going to rattle how I feel about this desire on my heart. Like, it's that ingrained in me, it's that deep in me, that it's not going to shake me up in any way. So I'm sharing this literally from a place of selflessness. I'm putting myself out there to help you expand yourself as well. So one of the things, like, I've been working on my money mindset the last like 6 to 12 months, like very, very intentionally. And obviously, like, I want to make a lot of money. That's something that I want to do to provide a legacy for my family and the people around me, um, and like make a really big impact in the world in such a positive way, like through my money and resources. So it's not just because I want a bunch of material things, and I know that that that's not on my heart. um, but one of the things that I kind of like, I've been slowly increasing my income since the beginning of this year, and I've made like it keeps going up. And one of the things that I've been working for towards is consistent, um what would it be, like consistent 5K months basically. Yeah. So like a minimum of like 10K months has been what I put on my vision board from the beginning of this year. And uh I was kind of like working with it and really trying to feel into it, all of these things. And what I realized was like, okay, I think I need to really, really expand myself to actually like get to where I'm actually trying to get right now. And what I ended up doing is I basically decided, like, okay, I am just going to focus on the energy and the frequency of making six figures every single month. Because the reason I did this, and if you didn't watch the last video or episode where I actually talked about a lot of how I work with my body and my subconscious to increase my capacity to do this, make sure you go back and watch because I'm not going to dive into that right now. But I basically said and decided I am someone who makes six figures every single month. Yep, every single month. That is my minimum. And what I ended up doing from this is I really felt into during my meditations, like what this is going to feel like, because this is a completely huge jump from where I'm at. But I know that me stretching my nervous system beyond like what I am even like trying to hit right now with my goal is that is how I'm going to collapse time much, much faster because I'm no longer working with my nervous system on, okay, I'm trying to hit 5K months regularly, consistently, and feeling into that. Like, that's not that big of a jump for me as far as like where I'm at. And so I was like, you know what? Like, I need to think bigger to collapse the time so that I'm like stretching my nervous system to be able to accept it sooner. Now, I know one day I will be making six figures a month. I know that. But right now, I'm more so like using it to help me get to close the gap right now, to get to five figures, to get to, like the regular 10K months. And what I've been doing is like, I have been, ever since I made that decision, I have been showing up differently. And that's what I mean is like when you dream really, really big and you admit it to yourself and you really start working with that energy, your energy starts to naturally shift and you start to make decisions that match that energy. Like I have really cleaned up my nutrition and just like other areas of my life, and it's because I decided that I now match the energy of someone who earns six figures every single month. I just decided. It wasn't like I don't know, like no, it's like I literally made a decision, a decision of this is just who I am now. And I worked with myself like in a deep state to kind of like shift that energy. And now my beliefs and my habits and my thoughts, they have to start to match that because I just decided and I'm like working with my energy to shift that. So that's how it's going to close the gap much, much faster than if I like what I was doing before, where I was really just trying to like, um, shift my energy to the 5K months, which that will work. Like there's nothing wrong with like me doing that, but I'm saying like this is how I'm going to collapse the time much, much faster because I'm expanding my nervous system to be able to hold something much bigger than the 5K months. So then my energy, that's what it's going to attract in. It's going to happen much faster because like attracts like, right? Like our frequency, everything that we have in life, it has to match our internal state. So that's how I'm like really stretching things very quickly. And you can do this in other areas of your life as well. But again, this is like layers upon layers upon layers of inner growth, inner work that I've been doing over the years, especially like the last year and a half, very deeply, very intentional. So it's not like someone who, again, like hasn't done any inner work, hasn't processed any unresolved feelings and traumas in their body, just going and doing this. Like you're not going to be able to have the capacity to stretch your nervous system like that, right? And that's why I'm really working with my nervous system now as if I already have those things, because what I want to happen is as more income comes in, it's going to feel very safe for me. When we receive things that we are not ready for, that we have not basically like trained our nervous system to handle, sabotage is going to come into play because it is going to feel very unsafe for our body to have the things that we are not used to having, and that's why we will sabotage. So that's why you have to do the inner work and like work with your body and really like feel into, like, you're literally shifting your internal state, your embodied state, to basically you're training it to be able to hold this next level version of you. So I hope that this is making sense. It makes sense for me. But that's like the level of work that I'm doing right now and really focused on. And I actually, so the alarm that I got interrupted, it like stopped the recording. It just went off again, literally as I was talking about it, because I guess I just slid it up, so just snoozed it, so it went off like um 10 minutes later or whatever. But essentially my alarms that I have going off, I have them every single hour of the day to remind me to stop whatever I am doing and to check my internal state and to make sure that it is the state, the frequency, the level at which this is someone who earns X amount of money. So that is like the level of embodiment that I am currently working on. And again, like, it feels really uncomfortable for me to share this. So like I hope you know, like, I'm sharing this from a place of like I want more for you. Obviously, I can't want it more than you, but I'm sharing it in real time. Like, this is very like kind of vulnerable for me because I'm sharing something that hasn't come to fruition yet. I'm basically saying, "Oh yeah, this is who I am. This is like just my reality," but it's not. It's not my reality yet in terms of like the timeline that we're on. So me sharing that and being like, "Oh, yep, this is my dream." You know how it feels to say your dream out loud when it's not reality yet and it still kind of feels shaky. People are going to judge you and you have to be okay with that. And I feel like I'm in a strong enough place where I'm okay with people judging me for saying that I want those things. And I'm okay with people judging me for not having those things yet and being what appears to be really far away from what I want and the things that I'm calling in. I'm okay with that because I've already proven to myself the work that I've done, the power of how fast it will collapse time and how fast I can literally change who I am and embody the next version of myself. I've witnessed it over and over and over again. So I have just built that level of self-trust within myself that I know that I don't care how long it takes. I just know it will happen. So I hope that me sharing that gives you permission to start to dream a little bit bigger, to allow yourself to feel those things and really ask yourself what it is you want and not feel guilty for it. I'm so tired of women feeling guilty for the things that we want. And, we're in a place in our life now where women have the most freedom and rights that they've ever had in history of life, in the history of existing. So, yes, there's a lot of generational traumas. There's a lot of crappy narratives that women have because that's all we've known. So we're officially in a season of life. Like, this is like the first couple of generations that literally can have anything they want. And they don't need anyone else. Like, they don't need permission. They don't, right? Like, we can have anything we want, and we're not going to be breaking the law for having these things. So we need more women who are going to step up to the plate and be that example and show other people what is possible. It's not, I'm not anybody special. I don't carry anything special. It's just I just decided that this is going to be my reality. This is what I'm going to do and I'm going to own it. And um I hope that it awakens more and more souls so that they realize that they are so much more capable than they give themselves credit. And when they amplify and really tune into that power within themselves, like, watch out, world, because that is how the world changes. It's a ripple effect. So I'm going to wrap this up. I know this was kind of long, but I hope that you got value from this video, and I will see you in the next one. Make sure if you liked this video, can you give it a thumbs up, please? Because that helps me. And make sure you subscribe and tune into all the other ways that you can plug in if you're not following me on Instagram or TikTok. Make sure to join the email list if you want to stay up to date with all of our events, workshops, programs, and product launches. Like I said, we have a clothing brand, we've got programs, we have in person and virtual. Just know virtual events or workshops will be coming. So if you're not local, that's okay. You will have the opportunity to stay plugged in. So make sure you join the email list so that you are updated whenever new things are happening or new launches happen. So anyways, thank you so much. I will see you later.